Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom, vacation day number 3. That's right, it's Tuesday. My vacation started this past weekend over 4th of July. Got here a little bit on Friday, the 4th of July. Cut some grass first thing in the morning, went to the parade with the family. Spent the weekend doing some family activities, and then Sunday I started back over here sun up till basically sundown, working, trying to just get ahead on this project of ours. So with this being day number 3, I think we have some pretty exciting stuff going on today. First and foremost, it is, I don't even know if it's 6 o'clock yet. Yep, 6:03. So 6:03 in the morning, just got over here. First thing I need to start off by doing today is moving a lot of these 16-foot 2x6s downstairs. I got the majority of that bottom womanized plate put on in the basement for our framing. We need to go ahead and top that so that this stack of pre-cut 2x6s hopefully will fit in. No cuts, that's what we're hoping, but if my floor height is a little bit high, then we'll have to trim them. But regardless, I need another plate on the bottom, I need 2 plates on the top, and then we can start figuring out our stud layout. The exciting part about today, though, is that my electrician friend Mel is going to be stopping over here first thing in the morning, spending about an hour with me going over the electrical panel box heights, the meter socket height, how to mount those, the best way to mount those, so that we don't have any issues when it comes time for our inspection. And then he's just going to spend some time walking through each room, saying this room 4 lights, this room 5 lights, you know, outlets every so often. So I'll be taking some notes, and hopefully we can finish the day by getting that stuff done, because as soon as I have my meter socket up and my panel set, I can call Penn Power and get them to come pull the electric line, and maybe not have to work off a generator these last few days of vacation. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get the tripod set up, and you guys can watch me hoof all these 16-foot 2x6s downstairs. So enjoy. Alright, now that I got a nice healthy stack of 16-foot 2x6s, I'm going to go ahead and transfer all my crow peckers from my stud layout down onto the side, so that once I get my second plate shot on, I can just transfer those right back on top. I don't have to go and remeasure. So enjoy the time lapse. Okay, so I got this corner framed in. It's all studded out. I had to do this little return to hold this end of this wall nice and plumb. Everything's good and solid. Now remember, we're going to be doing bulkheads around all this stuff. So all the beams, all the ductwork, everything gets bulkheaded off. How's it look, Eleanor? Hey, thanks for bringing me lunch. So the next challenge is framing around my drop for my sewage. I think I figured out how I'm going to do it, but for right now, I could use a little bit of a break. So me and Rachel and the girls are going to go look at some flooring samples. We'll be back here tonight to finish framing in this wall, as well as get some electrical boxes mounted and light switch boxes, and start drilling holes so that we can start pulling wires tomorrow morning. So see you guys back here shortly. Okay, so I know it doesn't look like much, but pretty productive day here so far. Got this wall all framed in around that corner. These bulkheads kind of made me scratch my head a little bit, just trying to figure out how to properly secure everything, make sure those walls were nice and tight, nice and snug, while maintaining plumb and level. This part here, this pipe, really threw me through a curveball. I wasn't sure. I only had 1/16 on center right here, but obviously we can't run that up through a pipe. And I mean, I don't really think we need anything right here, because I ran these horizontal boards for drywall nailers. What I do want to do is get a piece of sheet metal or something off my HVAC guy and make sure I run it across this pipe, as well as cover this whole area right here. That way when they're hanging drywall, or we ever go to screw anything into this wall like a cabinet or something, we want to make sure that pipe is protected from any screws. Now drywall screws are only, well, typically they're only, what is that, 1¼ to 1 5/8, something like that. So by the time they get through 1/2 inch of drywall, there should really only be, you know, 1 inch or so traveling in there. You can see that pipe is set back on that board about 1 inch, but you know, a little bit of proactive thinking could save me a potential leak down the road. Like I said, this was one of the important walls, this section here. That way everything gets insulated when the insulation company's here. This top plate, I used a 2x4 for there. That way part of the insulation package is spray foaming these caps here, right where my joists meet the top of the foundation wall. So I wanted to make sure I left them room to get spray foam up in there. And then obviously I need to extend my radon pipe and take that to daylight. So I left the top plate out right there. That way I can get a piece of 3-inch pipe up, 90 it out, and see you later radon gas. So we're gonna finish off today by going up onto the 3rd floor, doing outlet box and light switch box layout. Like I said earlier, Mel, my electrician friend, was here this morning gave me a bunch of information, helped get me started, so we can go ahead, start doing that. Kind of lucky, but my time-lapse camera died there as I was finishing up this little bit of framing. However, I need my tripod for my laser because I can set my laser to the top of box height, go ahead and just start nailing away. So we'll get up there, we'll show you guys what's going on. All right, so as you can see, we are up here on the 3rd floor. I have a pile of single gang and double gang boxes for outlets and switches. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my laser set up and have that broadcasting a beam 18 inches up from the floor. That's where we want all of the tops to our outlet boxes. We'll be using a mixture of single gang and double gang, so we'll have 2 outlets or 4 outlets on the wall. I'm picturing, a TV game center, something over here, a couple couches here. So probably use up a couple of the double gang boxes for outlets in this area. Maybe throw one here random, but for the most part, we're going to use a lot of single gang boxes. Light switch, they need to be, I know I jotted it down, 46 inches to the top of the box. Yeah, 46 inches for the top of the box, to the top of the box for a light switch. We'll have a double gang box here. These stair lights will be on a 3-way switch. We'll have a switch that controls it up here, as well as a switch that controls it down there at the door. Code for outlets, you need to have a box within 6 feet of a doorway, in this case, stairwell. And then you can't go further than 12 feet. So we'll probably go 7 to 8 feet and place an outlet box. Always try to do things a little bit more favoring the code. That way, there's nothing ever to question. And then outlets, I believe, or light switches, obviously you need to have them right at the entrance of the door. So yeah, we'll have an outlet for lights in the utility room back there. And then I don't really think, I don't know, maybe we'll throw one inside those doors there. I don't know, we'll see. Let's get the laser set up and get to work. Got my light switch box in here. It's 50 inches to the top for here. My electrician friend said that he does 48 or 46 on like kitchen areas. That way it looks nice above the countertop, bathrooms above the vanities. But this one kind of is what it is. That's as tall as the knee wall we have. I think I made that 48 inches or 46 inches, something like that. So, it is what it is. The outlets, the boxes are all in. Like I said, we have a mixture of single gang and double gang. That way it'll accommodate the girls and whatever they're plugging in up here to play and have fun and just enjoy their time together with their friends. So we'll get everything shifted down to the 2nd floor and get going on that. I need a little bit of a break from being in the house. Temperature dropped outside. It's nice and cold. So I figure let's finish off today with a little bit of machine work. So we'll go fire up the 951B and bring some dirt up here. Now I know I said I have a ditch that I need to dig to the well, but that ditch is gonna run out here. I can start getting dirt up here, filling all this up. Yes, we're gonna bury that concrete because, as we all know, concrete makes great fill. So we'll get maybe an hour or so of dirt moving in and just keep chipping away at stuff. I cannot do this by myself. I'm lucky enough to have friends and family that are in the construction industry, so that when I get to a point in time where I'm not familiar with, I don't really know the area too well, like electric. I'm not an electrician. Just because I pulled some wire in the garage does not mean I know how to wire a house, but I am fortunate enough to have a friend that owns a successful electric company, and he took some time this morning to come over, point me in the right direction. But that's not what I'm getting at. I am talking about I can't even find the words to describe it, the amount of help and support I get from my wife Rachel. Not only is she 7 months pregnant right now, at home taking care of our 2 wild and crazy kids, but she does things like this. She brings me over dinner when she knows I'm going to be working late. Rachel, I cannot thank you enough. It's little stuff like that that just keeps me going, keeps me driving, and I couldn't do this without you. I love you, and I'm extremely happy that you're supporting me on this adventure of ours and doing everything you can to help make this process smoother. Okay, so obviously I'm getting a little bit more comfortable on the 951. The only thing I'm not used to is how much dirt it'll move. I originally said, yeah, we'll spend about an hour or so. Using the skid loader, using that much material, the type of material it is, it's like that thick, wet clay. Really good for compacting, really good for filling. You know, it compacts really nice when it's dry, and whenever it's actually compacted, it doesn't really let the water penetrate. It lets the water kind of run off. So whenever we get good soil on here, ideally all the water should just kind of run out away from the house. But that took about 20 minutes to move that much dirt that far up a hill with the 951. So that machine's awesome. But coming back to reality, I need to get the electrical going, keep it rolling. So we're going to jump back upstairs and hang the light switch boxes for the girls' room, as well as maybe some in mine and Rachel's bedroom, bathroom. But we'll see what time it is whenever we get done with all that. All right, everybody, so we're going to be ending this with the trusty iPhone flashlight. Starting up here in the hallway, you get to the top of the steps. Eleanor's room, Victoria's room, each girl has a light switch right outside of their door, blocked out, so I don't have to cut the light covers. Sorry, it's been a long day, I'm tired. But these are for the hallway lights out here, so as they come and go out of their bedroom, they can turn the lights on. Plus, code dictates that there needs to be a light switch for hallway lights or room lights within 6 feet of every door opening. So you walk in here to the room, there's a double gang box for the light fixture and ceiling fan, single gang box for in here where the vanity is. We'll figure out the outlet placement for all these rooms tomorrow. Running into a little bit of an issue. There's a cold air return right here. However, I need a double gang light box in here for the light and fan in this bathroom. Victoria's room is a little bit different, a little bit more complicated. I don't know if I need any more switches in Eleanor's room. I'll talk to Rachel and see if we need to do anything. But basically you walk in, double gang box for light switch and fan switch, single gang box. That this one as well as that one over there will be on a 3-way switch to control that light. Victoria has this nice little walk-in closet, so there's a single gang box there for a light switch. Then I'm going to throw some lights in her little reading nook here, so light switch right there. Coming over to Comet's room, right outside Comet's room as well as mine and Rachel's room, we have a hallway light switch. This single gang box will be for the chandelier that will be put in our entryway, because I don't know how to say that other word. Coming Comet's room, double gang box for a light and ceiling fan. In Comet's bathroom, we have a double gang box for the lights as well as the fan for the shower. Over here above the vanity, we have a double gang box for an outlet and light switch for the vanity lights. Comet gets a walk-in, a little tiny walk-in closet, so smushed in there is a single gang box for those lights, and I still need to figure out what I'm doing in this cubby area, if we need any lighting. If so, we'll need a light switch. But regardless, we're going to do the closeout in the truck because it is getting too dark to see through the camera. And yeah, I'll see you guys down there. All right, everybody, so that is going to wrap it up for vacation day numero 3. That is number 3. Working on my Spanish. Not really. So, I mean, did I get as much done as I thought I was going to get done, or I hoped I was going to get done? No. But that bar is always set insanely high, so I don't think I'll ever reach that limit. I did get a lot of stuff done, though. I look back on today, and I'm proud of the work that I did. I'm proud of the stuff that I got accomplished on my vacation day number 3. Started off the day over here getting a little bit of framing in before Mel came over and gave me a very, very quick crash course on codes and how to start wiring an entire house. I mean, I wired my garage last year, but realistically, that was some outlet boxes and some light switches, and that was it. This is starting from scratch, setting the meter box, setting breaker panels, what wire to use for what appliance, how to run each circuit, just everything. So Mel, I appreciate the time you gave me today, brother. That was awesome. And as always, thank you for just the help in answering my annoying text messages. But after Mel left, we jumped back on framing, got a lot more framing done in the basement. Basically, the one side of the wall is done. That is basically almost all of the walls I needed to frame in the basement to be ready for installation. Most of the other walls really don't matter because I don't think they're getting insulated. Maybe they are, I don't know, we'll see. But then Rachel and I actually went and got some flooring samples to pick out our flooring for the inside, so that took some time. And then came back over here, finished up some framing, and then jumped on outlet box placement. Outlet box and light switch box. Got the 3rd floor all boxed up. That's ready to start drilling holes. I got Victoria, Eleanor's, and Comet's light switch boxes in, so that's going to be a huge help. And then I got a little bonus time on the 951B. Moved some dirt real quick, and had a little bit of fun there. So these long days, as much as I enjoy being over here working on our home, I do need to switch things up because I start to get foggy and cloudy and just need a break. So the 951 gave me that nice little break and gave me some energy to jump back up there and finish the day out strong with some electrical boxes. So tomorrow should be fun. I'm gonna come over here, try to knock out a little bit more framing, and then jump on drilling holes. I'm gonna start with the framing because I do plan on being over here relatively on the earlier side, 5:30 or so, maybe 6 o'clock. But I don't feel like dragging my lights all through the house, so the lights are in the basement. We'll work under the, you know, helpful husky lights, doing some framing till the sun comes up and I can see inside. And then we'll drill holes on the 3rd floor, jump down to the 2nd floor, work on outlet box placement, light switch box placement, and maybe drill some holes there. We'll have to see how much time, because I think we're getting a minivan tomorrow. Yeah, we're gonna be a minivan family, but regardless, you know, the family's grown, so we need some bigger vehicles. 3 car seats in the back of my truck is extremely cramped. Rachel's Honda Accord that she has to commute for work, that can barely hold 2 car seats. So get a little bit bigger family vehicle and make life a little bit easier on ourselves as far as transporting the kids around. So all in all, I think it was a great day. You know, I look back on the work I did, I'm proud of it. I'll put my name on it and go to bed, wake up, and do it all over tomorrow. So I want to thank you guys for tuning back into another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. If you liked what you saw, please click the like and subscribe. Don't forget to like us on Instagram, and don't forget to check out our link to our Etsy store. You guys tuning in whenever I post a video, it truly means the world to me, and I'm glad I get to share this adventure with you guys. So yeah, you know the deal. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.